Hey guys, it's Alan, Front Page Fab. We're in the shop tonight playing with wedges. So come on along, and before you go anywhere, get a cup of coffee or something before you watch my video, please be sure and like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate that as it helps the channel grow. And we can bring more how-to stuff. So let's get after it.
Let's get in the shop and build something.
Okay, so what we're going to do is, ever since I got this Ranger running with my V8, it has had a little vibration in it. Now at first, when I had the transmission mounted up about where it is factory, I had a heck of a vibration. I mean, you couldn't hardly run 50 miles an hour and it'd vibrate something terrible. Shake the whole truck. So when we redid the motor, I lowered the rear of the transmission down about 1.5 inches, and believe it or not, that really helped to almost straighten out the drive shaft angle right there. And it's really not bad at all. When you look at the angle, it's not bad at all. But just lowering that rear of the transmission down a little helped a whole bunch on the vibration. And well, that, and the only other thing I did was I did go ahead and rebuild the whole rear end. I did not put new axles in it, but I put all new bearings in it everywhere. New bearings, new bearing races, new seals. And we also changed from, I put this rear end had 410s in it originally because it came out of an automatic truck. And for this 5-speed, that was just way too tall. So I went with 355s, and in hindsight, I probably could have gone even lower, like maybe 331s or something, but this is good. 355s is good. At 55 miles an hour, I'm turning about 1900 RPM. At 65, around 21 to 2150. So it's not terrible. And believe it or not, at 65, I get better fuel mileage than I do at 55. I don't know why, but I do. Anyway, so I'm going to try on this rear end. There's still just a slight difference in the angle between the rear yoke and the front yoke. And from everything I've read, it shouldn't make a difference. No more than it is, it should not make a difference. But there's a vibration in there, and it feels like it's coming from the back. So I'm going to install these 2.5-degree wedges. I guess this is a 4. No, that's a 7. I don't know. I think the package said they were 2.5-degree wedges. So I'm going to try installing those and see if kicking that front of that rear end up, and that should pretty well get that yoke almost perfectly straight. If that helps get rid of this vibration. If not, I'll either replace the axles and try that next, or I will talk to a drive shaft company down in Indianapolis about it. Maybe we need a different drive shaft. What's in it is custom made, but something's not right. So that's what we're going to do. So follow along, let's get to it. I really don't think it's a bent axle. The tread wear pattern looks pretty good. If anything, I'm overinflated in the middle. Looks like this center rib's wearing more than the rest of them. But nothing terrible. I'm not seeing a real wonky pattern that would lead me to believe I got a bent axle. So, that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do next is I got to get the shocks loose. And let's see, I need to get a deep well and put on there and get those nuts out. And I may have to loosen up that nut. We'll see. Let me get some penetrant on there and we'll get rolling. So I'm using this Kroll. They say this is good stuff, so we're about to find out. Okay, we'll get a deep well 3/4. And then we got to get the shocks loose. And I've got the jack stands ready. I just got to raise the rear up a little bit and put the jack stands under it to support the frame. Yeah, I like that better. And then we're ready to go on that. But I am going to go ahead and at least loosen one of these U-bolts and have it ready to loosen the other one once I get everything jacked up and supported. Okay, that one's good. All right. I might need that too. Okay. Now we'll get the jacks set in where they're supposed to need to be, and I got to get the shock loose. And after I get the shock loose, then I'll be ready to lower the. Well, I'll test it first. Lower this down onto the jack, get this, get that lowered. So that's what I'm going to do next. I will get the camera adjusted. And, guys, we got the shims installed, I think. In the time lapse you should see the one on the left side. I didn't record the one on the right because it's just the same as the one on the left. So now I've got everything done and I am just getting ready to just running these nuts. I got to torque them down to 65 foot-pounds. And then we're ready to put these tires on. I already did the one on the right. Okay. close. Okay. Okay, 65 on that one. Double check them all. Okay, so they're all now torqued to 65 foot-pounds. We're gonna get ready here, and we'll put the tire back on, and we'll be ready to call this job done and ready to test. All right. So that's just what we did again was we put a 2.5 degree shim between the leaf spring and the axle, and what that did was that tilted the U-joint up. Looked like that's what it needed. So we will take her out tomorrow evening and test it, and hopefully that is all it needed. I really hope it is. Now I'll just give these a little hand check. Make sure I got them all tight. We'll make sure we got them all tight here. Never trust I never trust the impact. Okay, so now all I got to do is get the take the jack stands out from under it, and we should be ready to test everything. All right, let's torque this down. Shoot, that coming. Little pro tip, guys. Never leave your jack stands out where you're going to be walking, because they're a trip hazard. I always put mine away as soon as I'm done with them to get them out of the way so I don't trip over them. So, just a little pro tip there. Okay, now we'll do a quick, make sure they're all right. Put the cap on, call this job done. How's that sound? All right, we got that job wrapped up, and I got the Ranger back down on the ground. Now all that's left is a little test drive to see where we're at. Hopefully that fixes it. I will know more tomorrow night, because it is currently 9 o'clock our time and here in Indiana. And I got one more job I got to do up at the house, and I have to get that done tonight. So no test drive tonight. You guys have an awesome night, and again, please like and subscribe, and we'll keep bringing more how-to stuff. And as soon as the weather warms up, I've got a couple projects to work on. I'm gonna put some outdoor lighting on my enclosed trailer for when we're in the pits at the racetrack, and yeah, a few other little odds and ends coming up. So we'll get the drag truck back in here probably this weekend, and get that wrapped up, and then we start working on the trailer. So thanks for watching.